Hi, Andrew. I just want to ask you a question about technology. It's my field, and I really want to know what you think about robotics and its immense impact on today's society. A lot of countries, like Japan and America, are investing heavily in improving their technology, and that could result to wipe out of jobs in the very near future. We're talking 5 years. How do you think a government like New Zealand could prepare their people to adapt to this change?
I think there's some romanticism about, or fear, if you like. From the flip side is there's fear as well about robotics replacing labour, and I don't see that happening in any greater degree than it already has happened because for two reasons. One, robots fill a very specific need in terms of substituting for labour. If you look at where they're applied in, say, car plants and component assembly, they're very specific cases of very fast assembly, very fast, assembling widgets and so forth. There's not a great deal of value proposition from labour in terms of replacing that. And for those reasons, car plants and other assembly plants already have a high number of robots in them, and that's not a new development. Certainly it will keep happening as we manufacture more complex manufactured goods, but I don't see that as replacing labour in any great extent, more so than in already, until say in 20 years' time, when the third world labour markets are fully employed, wage demands are again coming a problem like they were in the 80s, when before all these third world countries liberalised. So it will be another 20 years before that challenge is presented. So no, I don't see any great shift to robotics. So the move to technology is ongoing, and to the extent that we are using new products, we can expect greater innovation. But it doesn't necessarily mean that robotics is inevitable.
You mentioned something about third world labor markets, and I think that call center jobs are labor intensive, and the trend in the US, particularly these days, is to create robots to assume questions from, say, online customers and answer using a robot. There is now what you call an artificial intelligence that could answer almost every question in double jeopardy. Like a person who has a lot of memory, and not, or sorry, a machine that has a lot of memory and an ability of that machine to integrate his knowledge into applications and solutions to problems. And the belief is that that system could actually answer people's questions in call centers, teller machines, and in government, frequently asked questions. So you'd be interacting with a robot, and that will really wipe out a lot of jobs. What do you think about that?
I think that's an opportunity and a concern, uh, and a reasonable one. But at the same time, robots or automated systems don't think in the sense that we do. They correlate, like animals and humans at their worst, or at their most basic. That's not thinking. So when someone speaks to a robot and the robot interprets certain words, that's not thinking. That's correlating. That's like picking a symbol and correlating with something it knows, and doing that with several words to make build a picture about what you're saying, and then giving you an answer, and you saying, well, that doesn't answer my question, give me option B. There is a certain applications where that can be useful, commercially beneficial, but at the same time, there's for a lot of products and services, there is a value add to actually having someone who knows what they're talking about, and that's ultimately someone who can think or be perceived to be thinking. Someone who's personable, who is more flexible, and that is certainly more apt application for a human being as opposed to a robot. So, and ultimately those questions come down to issues of pricing, market trends, and cultural context. Some cultures wouldn't like talking to a robot, like the old folk, but young people are probably more flexible in that respect. So yes, I see those trends happening, but I don't think they're anything to fear, and certainly they're an opportunity. But I wouldn't go throwing money at an automated voice system if there was an investment opportunity, just in some belief that this is the next thing to happen in the marketplace, because I think it's just one of many trends to happen.
Well, I want to know what you think about creating concrete solutions, or what small Western countries can do right now to prepare for the 20 years when the robots can actually take over.
I think their value proposition is to one is to upskill, upvalue their product base, and they're doing that to some extent. And the other issue is to expect wage costs in third world countries to increase very rapidly, such that they absorb their labour, and in the process build their demand for Western products, which will become in 10, 20 years they'll be more competitive.